Hello everyone, I'm very glad that you listened to my story. Please give me a follow and like the video if you enjoyed it. Feel free to comment and provide feedback so I can improve the sound quality. Yes, we invite you to listen to part 4 of the series. Chapter 49, The Identity of Yukong. Chapter 49, The Identity of Yukong. Just as Song Chao was about to deliver the final blow to completely penetrate the silver-armored battleship's energy shield, a communication request came from the Qin Kong. Hesitating for a moment, Song Chao didn't immediately accept the call, but resolutely pressed the fire button instead. Having fought up to this point, he was very clear that the background of this silver-armored battleship was anything but simple. To be able to possess an engine component of purple quality and a shipborne main cannon that also appeared to be of purple quality, such a person could not possibly be obscure in Zhongwon City. The reason he still chose to fire was straightforward: the Qin Kong under his feet was also nearly spent. If he didn't defeat the opponent fast, once the armor-breaking effect ended, it would be his turn to be at the mercy of the enemy. Song Chao wouldn't let himself fall into such a passive position. Boom! The main cannon at the bow of the Qin Kong roared again, and the next moment, the outer layer of the silver-armored battleship's energy shield completely shattered, along with significant damage to the warship armor and the body of the ship itself. At this point, the opponent's communication request became even more urgent, and this time Song Chao did not refuse. When the communication was officially established, and the projection of the other party appeared before his eyes, Song Chao's face remained unchanged, but his heart sank completely. He recognized the other party, or rather, had seen them in the core data of various forces leaders in Zhongwon City. Although he had guessed that the silver-armored battleship had significant backing, seeing the youthful face still somewhat exceeded Song Chao's expectations. If he remembered correctly, the youth's name was Yukong and he was around 100 years old. More than a decade ago, he had already stepped into the rank of second-rank torch ship captain, revealing considerable strength. Of course, none of this was the point. If the other party was merely a second-rank torch ship captain with decent potential, Song Chao would not take much notice. The key was Yukong's father, a man who almost single-handedly dominated Zhongwon City. Zhu Yokue, the dean of the First Torch Academy of Zhongwon, the only third-rank torch captain in Zhongwon City, whose spectral warship, when firing at full force, could suppress an entire low-level starry sea floating land. This Yukong was Zhu Yokue's fourth son. Though not the most favored, he was, after all, a direct descendant of a third-rank torch captain, and if anything were to happen to him, Zhu Yokue would not stand idly by. Although he and Shen Wenjie had gone to great lengths to conceal their identities quite covertly, if a third-rank torch captain made a concerted effort to investigate, it was only a matter of time before they were tracked down. Zhongwon City was only so big, and there were only a few second-rank torch ship captains, it would be too easy to trace. Song Chao quickly made a decision in his heart. He wouldn't kill the other party, but he also wasn't planning to let him off easily. Though he couldn't kill him, Yukong's flagship had plenty of good things aboard, and just taking a couple of items would be a significant gain. Seeing that Song Chao had worn a mask in advance, hiding his true face, the gloom in Yukong's eyes deepened a notch, but he wasn't foolish. Knowing his current situation, he could no longer support the pride in his heart. He said coldly, "I don't know who you are, but if you're from Zhongwon City, you should be familiar with me. To the victor belong the spoils. I will no longer interfere with the matter of the titanium crystal vein. How does that sound?" Behind the mask, Song Chao's mouth curled up slightly. The implication in Yukong's words casually absolved himself, which, of course, Song Chao would not agree to. "Yukong, out of respect for your father, I can let you go, but don't bring up the titanium crystal vein. It's just a trivial and depleted vein, with reserves not exceeding 300 crystals. Moreover, this vein was first discovered by us. What does it have to do with you?" Yukong's eyes darkened, and he gritted his teeth, saying, "Then what more do you want?" Southernelfire.nt website on Google to access chapters of novels early and in the highest quality. Song Chao hesitated briefly. "It's simple, bring out 2 shipborne components of blue quality or above as the price for your defeat." "That's impossible." As soon as Song Chao finished speaking, Zhu Kong bellowed out, clearly, the request exceeded his bottom line. Seeing this, Song Chao did not indulge him and the Qin Kong fired again. Soon, the damage to the armor of Zhu Kang's Silver Edge exceeded 70% and the damage to the ship itself was over 40%. However, Song Chao did not feel optimistic at all. Zhu Kang's attitude was particularly resolute, as if he was certain that Song Chao wouldn't dare to deliver a killing blow. He had yet to agree. In the end, Song Chao had to stop, as continuing to focus fire would most likely sink Zhu Kang's flagship completely, and even if Zhu Kang survived, Zhu Yakue would inevitably intervene. That was not what he wished to see. 2 minutes later, a look of smugness appeared on Zhu Kang's face. The opponent indeed did not dare to continue. However, when his gaze shifted to a different part of the battlefield, the anger in his eyes surged again. After stopping the attack on the Silver Edge, Song Chao had targeted another escort ship. That Hefengo escort ship, although it was just an ordinary escort ship, its captain was a personal guard exclusively chosen by Zhu Yakue for him. The two had been companions since childhood, his most loyal and devoted subordinate. If the ship was destroyed and the person killed, it was something Zhu Kang could not accept. After several more minutes, under the combined attack of the Qin Kong and Copper Halberd escort ships, the Hefengo's energy shield was quickly depleted, and it seemed as if its armor too would be completely destroyed when Song Chao finally received a communication request from Zhu Kang again. Seeing this, Song Chao smiled slightly, put on his mask, and then connected the communication. At this moment, Zhu Kang's face had become extremely grim. But, after all was said and done, he still agreed to Song Chao's demands and brought out 2 shipborne components of blue quality. 20 minutes later, the 4 escort ships returned to Tanyu mining area, and the 12 spectral airships that realized the battle was decided also quickly ceased their chaotic fight. Several of the spectral airships from the Black Mountain Association were clearly reluctant. Looking at the outer hulls of the 4 escort ships, it was very likely that Zhu Kang's side had lost. Thinking of this result, a chill instantly clutched at Scar's heart. Reporting the titanium crystal matter was meant to tightly cling to Zhongyuan City's biggest support, but now it was a clear case of stealing chickens only to end up losing the rice. He would probably also have to endure Zhu Kang's anger. How could Scar be at ease? 10 minutes later, Zhu Kang left with his fleet without saying a word, while the excavation work on Song Chao's side continued. This titanium crystal vein was a micro vein, with prior estimates of reserves between 1,000 to 2,000 pieces. After mining for a while, the confirmed reserves had a slight increase and would probably exceed 2,000 pieces. So, if they wanted to excavate it all, it would still take some time. As for why he told Zhu Kang earlier that it was a depleted mine, it was naturally to downplay the overall value of this titanium crystal vein as much as possible. Otherwise, the news of over 2,000 titanium crystals would be hard to keep from alarming Zhu Yakue. Chapter 50 Securing the Titanium Crystal. Chapter 50 Securing the Titanium Crystal. Another half an hour passed, and the mining finally ended, and the exact number of titanium crystals obtained was also finally tallied. After both Song Chao and Shen Wenjie counted and verified the numbers, the reserves of this small titanium crystal vein indeed brought them a pleasant surprise. Compared to the initial estimate of 1,000 to 2,000 pieces, the number of titanium crystals actually produced was quite a bit higher. I didn't expect to mine 2,420 titanium crystals. It seems we are in luck. With a smile appearing on his face as he looked at the tallied number, Shen Wenjie knew that titanium crystals, as strategic level materials, were well worth the effort, even if only 200 pieces had been mined, not to mention over 2,000. Song Chao was also excited, but after his excitement, he hesitated, seemingly wanting to say something. In the communication projection, Shen Wenjie carefully caught this slight irregularity. "All Song, just speak your mind, we don't need to hold back anything between us." Song Chao organized his words and then explained meticulously, "Hear the novfire.net website on Google to access chapters of novels early and in the highest quality. All Shen, you must also be aware of that person's identity just now. In your opinion, will Zhu Kang inform Zhu Yakue about this?" Hearing that Song Chao was referring to this matter, Shen Wenjie's expression of joy retracted, and he became serious. As a real power inspector in Zhongyuan Torch Bureau, how could Shen Wenjie's sources of information be lacking? He was very clear about Yu Kang's identity. Previously, the joy of harvesting titanium crystals momentarily set aside this issue, but now that Song Chao had brought it up, Shen Wenjie could not help but feel a headache. Given Xu Yakue's clout in Zhongyuan City, once he started investigating, stripping Shen Wenjie of his inspector captaincy would be a matter of a word. What? Talk about the law of Chongqing Principality. Don't make me laugh. In this Starry Sea era where the supernatural prevails and floating lands are distant from each other, in the entire domain of Torch human civilization, there is only one universally acknowledged law. Torch warships of the battleship level and above must not engage in any form of infighting. Aside from that, unless someone does something highly outrageous, such as using a torch warship to massacre civilians or over 100 torch warships openly engaging in a group battle, no one really enforces the law strictly. Anxious, Shen Wenjie looked at Song Chao. Old Song, do you have a solution? Just say it. You've only been in Zhongyuan City for 20 years, there are things you might not quite understand. Xu Yakue has indeed seemed amicable in recent years, but that was after he became the principal of Zhongyuan's First Torch Academy. My father told me, more than 100 years ago, he was a ruthless man who didn't blink at murder. As if worrying that Song Chao was not taking it seriously enough, Shen Wenjie continued right after. Once he starts investigating us, even if I can convince the bureau chief to plead for us, I'm afraid it won't help. Song Chao nodded, he quite agreed with Shen Wenjie's view. In fact, he was not lacking in understanding of Xu Yakue. That person is a veteran torch ship captain who has been promoted to third rank for over 200 years. How could he not pay attention to someone who could almost cover the sky with one hand in Zhongyuan City? It was precisely because of his understanding that he had always been somewhat concerned. As for the bureau chief that Shen Wenjie mentioned, he was referring to the chief of the Zhongyuan Torch Bureau. Although his status was very high, he was currently only stuck at the peak of the second rank. He might have some influence before Xu Yakue, but certainly not much. After considering for a moment, Song Chao expressed his thoughts. If that's the case, then I'll mention it to my old man. If he steps in, Xu Yakue most likely won't interfere. However, if we do this, we'd have to give up half of this batch of titanium crystals. The reason Song Chao was hesitant to speak before was because of this. Bringing in his father meant that a substantial part of the titanium crystals would have to be given up, as high-ranked torch ship captains were all short of such resources. No one could resist the temptation of such materials. Shen Wenjie was somewhat pained at heart. If only he and Song Chao were to split the bounty, he could have at least obtained more than 1,000 pieces for himself. However, after thinking it over, he gritted his teeth and agreed, valuing his life more than the titanium crystals. Even if Xu Yakue wasn't certain to take action, it was never wrong to take precautions in advance. All right, let's do it that way. You take half to pay the old man, and of the remaining 1,210, you and I will each take 505. The last 200 can be divided equally among the 7 little ones. A very reasonable distribution plan, Song Chao quickly agreed. The two of them first stored away their share of 505 titanium crystals, and the remaining 200 were left for the 7 spectral airships to divide among themselves. Repeatedly instructing that no information regarding titanium crystals should be revealed, the 9 torch warships each concealed their tracks and hastened towards White Tower floating land. After entering the White Tower floating land, 3 of the spectral airships began to separate from the fleet and head towards other cities in the White Tower floating land. The 7 spectral airships that accompanied them had torch ship captains whom Song Chao and Shen Wenjie could absolutely trust as their direct descendants. Among the 3 airships that had just separated, they were specifically summoned by Song Chao. If Song Chi were there, he would certainly recognize these 3 since they were the sons of his eldest and second uncles, all his cousins, who were older than him and had successfully awakened several years before him. In addition, Shen Qing, who had agreed to explore the ruins together with Shen Wenjie's younger relatives, was also among them. In Jutian Ruins Market, Song Chi stepped out of the All Attributes cultivation room with a strong excitement on his face. Feeling the power in his body that had once again surged by a great margin, he was somewhat moved by the potent effects of the advanced body tempering potion combined with the 700-year-old deep water clam pearls. The guidance technique, which had just broken through a day ago, astonishingly made another breakthrough, and at this moment, the blood chi fluctuations emitting from him, as well as his entire physical fitness, had clearly reached the level of guidance technique LV7. In less than 5 days, his guidance technique soared from the beginning of LV5 straight to LV7 at a truly astonishing speed. Such advancement would have been impossible in under 3 years through ordinary cultivation. Song Chi felt his steps were a bit floating, his body experiencing a strong sense of discordance. After carefully tuning in, he realized that this seemed to be because his physique had undergone too drastic a change in recent days, causing a temporary inability to adapt. Realizing this, the first thing that came to Song Chi's mind was relief. When he had first left seclusion, there was a hint of regret in his heart that he hadn't consumed the last advanced body tempering potion neutralized with the 900-year-old deep water clam pearls. Due to the limitations of his physique, this potion could only be taken after his guidance technique reached LV9 in the future. Now, it seemed fortunate that he hadn't used that last dose of the advanced body tempering potion. Another drastic increase would have certainly caused great damage to his body. It's undoubtedly good to cultivate quickly, but if the rate of enhancement exceeds one's control, it's not simply described as fast, it's akin to forced growth. Such advancement could cause irremediable damage to the cultivator's foundation. Feeling his current condition, Song Chi abandoned the idea of leaving the ruins market and turned back into the all attributes cultivation room. This time, he did not continue to cultivate the guidance technique but instead kept swinging his body, hoping to quickly adapt to the vastly increased body strength and to mend his slightly damaged foundation. Half a day later. Click. The bedroom door was opened from the inside, and Song Chi, who had essentially adapted to his body's strength, walked out of his room. His eyes lit up, his dad was actually still at home. However, unlike usual, Song Chao didn't dare sit on the sofa but stood up straight, creating an impression of being exceedingly cautious. If you don't give them, I'll punch your chest with my little fists. Chapter 51, Song Ming Song. Chapter 51, Song Ming Song. Indeed, it was cautious, very much like how Song Ting would nervously await Song Chao's judgment every time she made a mistake. Just as Song Chi thought it was his own misconception, he saw the communication light screen in front of his dad. When he clearly saw the projected figure in the light screen, Song Chi suddenly realized. Seeing his dad's awkward expression, Song Chi quickly walked over and softly called out, "Grandpa." Hearing these two words, Song Ming Song's originally expressionless face in the communication light screen immediately revealed a kind smile. "It's little Chi, come over here and let Grandpa have a look. It's been a few years since I last saw you. I heard not long ago that you had awakened, your grandma was so happy for quite a while. It'll soon be your grandma's 200th birthday. When you come to Baita City, Grandpa will give you a big gift." Song Chi's face lit up with a bright smile and he nodded repeatedly. "Thank you, Grandpa. On Grandma's 200th birthday, your grandson will also present his own gift." Song Ming Song laughed heartily. "Good, then Grandpa will look forward to it." At Song Chi's side, Song Chao gave his son a thumbs up, feeling a huge relief in his heart. Facing his own father, he really felt an immense pressure. With Song Chi's interjection, Song Ming Song couldn't very well continue to show a stern face to his son, only to hear him quickly say in a deep voice, "That's it then, remember, not one titanium crystal less than 1,000, or you'll see how I'll deal with you on your mom's birthday." After speaking, his voice paused for a moment, as if he had remembered something, and then he added another sentence. "Also, if you dare to pull the kids from the families of your eldest brother and second brother to do this kind of thing again, I'll personally go to Jongwon City to break your 2 legs. With that, the communication light screen was also cut off. Song Chi's mouth twitched slightly, and he muttered to himself that Grandpa's temper really hadn't changed at all. Speaking of Song Ming Song, Song Chi had vivid memories. When he was young, he had always lived with Song Ming Song and his wife. It was only after his parents moved to Jongwon City that he followed them here. And when it came to old master Song Ming Song, there was only one impression in Song Chi's heart. Explosive. That's right, the old master's temperament was just like that, extremely fiery, often resorting to fist over the slightest disagreement. Then when it came to disciplining his sons, he was equally unreserved. According to Mom, his father and his brothers had been smacked into adulthood by the old master's slap after slap. It was only after his father and his uncle started their own families and had grandchildren that the old master's temper had somewhat mellowed. At least when facing the many grandchildren, the old master was still very kind. Song-chi didn't dwell on this matter but quickly shifted his attention to the titanium crystal that Grandpa had just mentioned. See the novelfire.net website on Google to access chapters of novels early and in the highest quality. Dad, did you get the titanium crystals? How many? After turning off the communication, Song Chao immediately reverted to his usual patriarchal demeanor and said unhurriedly, "There aren't too many. In addition to the 1,000 for the old master, I have 715 on hand. Don't mention this outside, especially in front of your grandpa." Upon hearing this, Song-chi instantly understood, knowing that his dad must have underreported some or, to put it another way, intercepted part of it. After pondering for a while, Song-chi asked softly, "Dad, what are you planning to do with these 700 plus titanium crystals? Apart from getting resources to help Mom increase her promotion success rate, is there any surplus?" Song Chao looked surprised and turned to give Song-chi a careful look. "Can you actually use this titanium crystal?" Song Chao's voice was serious. Given the rarity of titanium crystal, he had to pay great attention. If Song-chi truly needed this resource, he would certainly not be stingy. However, if it were just out of curiosity or something else, that would be a different matter. After all, this was titanium crystal, not some common worship enhancement resource. It could also be described as a hot potato. If given to Song-chi and he couldn't use it, it might even harm him instead. Song-chi understood these concerns. He didn't avoid Song Chao's gaze, and he affirmed with certainty, "Yes. Components of warships with purple quality or higher require titanium crystal for enhancements beyond level 20. The Tsongcheong had a component called the Dark Matter Energy Shield Generator, which would naturally require it for future upgrades." Hearing Song-chi's reply, Song Chao had no doubts. No one understood his son's character better than he did. Good. After this single word, a glimmer of ghost light flashed between his eyebrows, and a radiance flew out from the ancestral torch, eventually hovering in front of Song-chi. "Here are 100 titanium crystals. Keep them well, and remember, whether you use them or not, you must never reveal them to outsiders until the day you are strong enough." After he had finished speaking, Song Chao waved his hand, indicating for Song-chi to attend to his own matters, while he submerged his spiritual consciousness into the ancestral aperture at his brow. Using the seed of torch, he connected to the torch network, as he needed to prepare some resources for Chenlicia's promotion. In the torch network before, he had found several resources that could be beneficial for the promotion of Chenlicia's warship, Dragonfly, but the seller's demands were high, and he couldn't gather what was needed all at once. Now with several hundred titanium crystals at his disposal, getting those materials should not be difficult. Of course, Song Chao would naturally not use his own identity to trade the titanium crystals. Concealing his identity, changing the delivery address, and not selling too many at once, these were procedures he knew all too well. Just then, Song Chao, as if recalling something, disconnected from the torch network and turned to call back Song-chi, who was heading to his bedroom once again. "Wait, come here, I have something else to give you." Song-chi didn't think much and immediately turned around, coming back to his father. Wondering what exactly his father was about to produce, Song Chao's brow glowed with ghost light once again, and the next moment, 2 streams of blue radiance floated out. Seeing the items within the 2 light spheres, Song-chi's eyes lit up with joy. Inside were 2 components for the warship, both of apparent high quality. 2 blue quality warship components. "Where did you get this, Dad?" "They were acquired while searching for titanium crystal, just additional gains. Pick one for yourself and leave the other for your mom," said Song Chao casually, but Song-chi understood that these 2 blue quality components were anything but easy to come by. This represented 2 blue quality Starry Sea oddities, after all, not just any common cabbage to be obtained so readily. Song Chao didn't wish to elaborate, and Song Chi didn't ask further. His gaze settled on the two warship components. The attributes of each appeared one after another. Obsidian Ship Armor LV0. Quality Blue. Consumption 4/S Defense 15. Up rank requirement 1 strand of floating land origin 0 rank 100 energy points 1 ton of obsidian. As for this first component, Song Chi wasn't too interested. The Song Cheong already had gold rock ship armor of white quality. Although it was not as high quality as the obsidian ship armor, given the presence of the dark matter energy shield generator, whether it was white or blue quality ship armor didn't make much difference. Unless it was purple quality or higher, the significance wasn't considerable. Chapter 52 A Particle Beam Cannon. Chapter 52 A Particle Beam Cannon. Besides, there was actually another minor reason. He had just enhanced the gold rock ship armor to LV10, which he hadn't used even once. If he were to replace it now, all the resources spent on enhancing the gold rock ship armor would have been wasted. Once dismounted, all the enhancement levels of a ship's components would be reset to 0, and no resources spent on the enhancements would be refunded. Overlooking the obsidian ship armor, Song Chi turned his attention to the second orb of light. His eyes brightened, and he was much more excited compared to when he saw the obsidian warship armor. Search * the novel f.raya.net website on Google to access chapters of novels early and in the highest quality. Particle Beam Main Cannon LV0. Quality Blue. Consumption 20/short spectral energy points. Feature Main Cannon might increase by 10%. Might 17. Charged 10s, buffer 20s. Upgrade requirement 3 strands of 0 rank floating land origin, 300 spectral energy points. Although the spectral main cannon on the Song Cheong had also been enhanced to LV10 not long ago, the difference was that the spectral main cannon was only a colorless quality main cannon, which was 2 quality levels lower than the particle beam cannon he was looking at now, meaning that in terms of enhancement limit and attack power, the particle beam cannon would completely outperform it. Moreover, there was the most important point: this particle beam cannon had a feature, making it the top rank among the blue quality components. Generally speaking, only components of purple quality and above have their own unique features. However, there are also a small number of blue components with features, and every blue component with a feature is considered the top rank among its peers. Dad, does Mom's Dragonfly have a blue quality main cannon? Although Song Chi really wanted this particle beam cannon, his mom's Dragonfly was currently at a critical point of advancing. A good main cannon would allow the Dragonfly to kill more alien races during exploration in the alien star domain, thereby increasing the chance of a successful advancement more quickly. Therefore, he had to let his mom choose first. Although he was also in need of a main cannon, he was still young and had more time ahead of him. Song Chao's eyes flashed with a touch of relief, and he smiled, saying, "You really should mention that, because I was actually going to choose this main cannon for you and leave the obsidian ship armor for your mom. Now that you've taken the initiative to choose this particle beam cannon, it just so happens to work out." Seeing that Song Chi was still not reassured, Song Chao continued before his son could speak. "Don't worry, the main cannon on your mom's Dragonfly is also blue quality, and it was even enhanced to over LV20 a long time ago. You can rest assured I will take care of your mom's promotion task. You just focus on dealing with every alien star domain exploration that comes your way." Song Chi nodded, and after hearing his dad's firm answer, he finally rested assured and absorbed the orb of light containing the particle beam cannon into the ancestral torch. In the Zhution Ruins Market, he summoned out the Song Cheong, quickly dismounted the spectral main cannon and replaced it with the particle beam cannon. He then immediately began the enhancement of the particle beam cannon. Enhancing a blue quality component required more resources than a white one. Song Chi spent a total of 271 strands of 0 rank floating land origin to enhance it to LV10. Particle beam main cannon LV10. Quality blue. Consumption 40/short spectral energy points. Feature main cannon might increase by 15%. Might 173. Charged 3s buffer SXS. Up rank requirement: 15 strands of fast rank floating land origin, 2500 spectral energy points. Song-chi stopped at this point not because he was unwilling to enhance further but because he had only 12 strands of fast rank floating land origin left in his possession, insufficient for another upgrade. However, compared with the previous spectral main cannon, the attributes of the particle beam cannon were much stronger. In the warship base behind the Fast Torch Academy of Jongwon, a warship named Lightshine was docked. Inside the Lightshine, Ju Yokue, the dean of the Fast Torch Academy and a third-rank torch ship captain, was standing atop a ghost energy cultivation platform with an enhancement level of LV39, meditatively practicing the guidance technique. For a torch ship captain who had advanced to third rank over 200 years ago and was nearing 500 years old, nothing was more important than persisting in cultivation. Based on the average lifespan of torch ship captains in torch human civilization, a zero-rank torch ship captain had the same lifespan as an ordinary person, still only 140 years. First-rank torch ship captains lived much longer, around 200 years. Second-rank torch ship captains lived even longer, with a lifespan of up to 300 years. Once reaching third rank, the change was even greater, as the lifespan doubled from the second rank's basis, reaching up to 600 years. 600 years was undoubtedly a very long time, yet every third-rank torch ship captain would often feel as though they didn't have enough of it. The enhancement of torch warships was fast, as long as one had the specific resources they could be up-ranked quickly, but cultivating the guidance technique was not possible, especially after reaching LV30 or above. The speed of cultivation was indescribable, and to raise one level could typically take several decades or even hundreds of years. Therefore, even a veteran cruiser captain like Shu Yokue, who had advanced to third rank nearly 300 years ago, had only reached a guidance technique level of LV37. With only 100 years left before reaching the end of his life, if he did not want to turn into a mound of yellow soil 100 years later, he must attempt to advance to fourth rank. The prerequisite for challenging the fourth rank was having a guidance technique level of at least LV39. This was the main reason Ju Yokue and more than 90% of third-rank torch ship captains spent most of their spare time on the ghost energy cultivation platform. Just then, a series of shouts came from outside the Lightshine. Ju Yochio's cultivation was disturbed. He instinctively frowned and was about to rebuke the noise harshly, but upon scanning with his mind and realizing it was his son, he actively exited his cultivation state. Outside the Lightshine, Ju Kong did not enter the warship, instead, Ju Yokue came out to meet him. Although it seemed very unimpressive, there was no helping it, it was just the way the torch warships operated. Once an outsider entered a torch warship, no matter the strength of the entrant, the torch warship would deduct 10 strands of floating land origin corresponding to the warship's rank. Moreover, this was only temporary, lasting 10 minutes. After 10 minutes, for every additional minute, double the strands of floating land origin had to be deducted continually. For example, letting Ju Kong enter the Lightshine would mean that the moment he stepped on board, the Lightshine would have to deduct 10 strands of third-rank floating land origin. If Ju Kong stayed on board for 11 minutes, another 20 strands of third-rank floating land origin would have to be deducted. For 12 minutes it would be 40 strands, for 13 minutes 80 strands, and so on. Due to this special restriction, each torch ship captain generally would not allow outsiders to enter their personal warships. Especially the high-rank torch ship captains. What's it this time? Your elder brother couldn't solve it for you, and you have to come to me. Ju Yokue's face was stern, and his tone was quite cold. He had never thought highly of this son of his, who typically only caused trouble. Ju Kong knew that he was not favored by Ju Yokue, so he went straight to the point. Dad, I had some news about titanium crystals recently. Chapter 53, The Face of Song Ming Song. Chapter 53, The Face of Song Ming Song. As soon as the term titanium crystal was mentioned, Ju Yokue's eyes twitched slightly and ripples surfaced in his heart, but they soon returned to calm. He understood his son too well. If that boy had gotten his hands on something valuable, he would certainly hold on to it tightly. The only reason he would speak of it was straightforward. He hadn't secured it. And not only had he failed to secure it, but the other party was not an easy target either. Speak, who was it this time? And how many titanium crystals are we talking about? Normally, Zhu Yakue would not concern himself with such matters, but when it came to titanium crystals, a resource they were in dire need of, he paid great attention. The person concealed their identity. After I returned, I tried to investigate but didn't find any useful information. Zhu Yakue frowned, the disappointment in his eyes deepening. It was one thing to lose a battle, but the inability to even clarify the opponent's identity was not merely an issue of strength, it hinted at a lack of capability. Are you certain that the individual is from Zhongyuan City? Upon hearing this, Zhu Kong promptly nodded. It's highly probable. Having said that, perhaps fearing his words did not carry enough conviction, he quickly added. After breaking through the energy shield of the Silver Edge, the person did not dare to deal me a deadly blow, clearly fearing subsequent investigation. Someone who conceals their identity and is so wary of your inquiries can most likely be from Zhongyuan City. However, the escort ship they possessed also had components of purple quality, it's very likely there was more than one piece. Their status in Zhongyuan City must be extraordinary, which is why I've come to ask for your intervention. At this point, Zhu Kong paused. As for the exact number of titanium crystals, they mentioned an exhausted mine with no more than 300 pieces remaining, but by my estimation, this figure should at least double. There should be no fewer than 600 titanium crystals. After listening to Zhu Kong, Zhu Yakue maintained his composure, showing no clear sign of emotional change. Seeing this, Zhu Kong grew anxious. Dad, what I'm saying is... Before he could finish, the ring of an incoming communication suddenly interrupted. Zhu Yakue gestured for Zhu Kong to stop and looked down at his own Chengxing Principality Deluxe communication bracelet, which displayed a contact saved under the name Song Ming Song. Song Ming Song, why would he suddenly contact me? Could it be? In the entire White Tower floating land with its 5 major cities and a population of over 100 million, there weren't many torch ship captains above 3rd rank, and they generally had each other's contact information. Looking at the name that appeared on the bracelet, Zhu Yakue glanced at Zhu Kong again, as if he had guessed something. Beside him, Zhu Kong also caught this piece of information. He was certainly familiar with the name Song Ming Song, after all, it was listed among the top 3 names on the Zhu family's absolute Do Not Provoke list specially compiled by Zhu Yakue for his sons. Could he really be contacting me about the titanium crystals? His heart sank, but Zhu Kong wasn't ready to give up, instinctively denying this supposition. Zhu Yakue shifted his gaze from his son and tapped to answer the call. Soon, a figure with a resolute face, wildly dressed, and showing no signs of aging appeared on the projected screen. With the appearance of that figure, a faint smile emerged on Zhu Yakue's otherwise expressionless face. What brings the wind today, to have you proactively reaching out to this old bag of bones? Opposite, Song Ming Song laughed heartily, and the two began exchanging pleasantries. After a bout of small talk, Song Ming Song got to the point. Old Zhu, actually, I've contacted you today because of a matter regarding the younger generation. As he spoke, Song Ming Song's gaze shifted, glancing at Zhu Kong standing behind Zhu Yakue, and then discreetly moved his eyes away. You must have heard that 2 juniors under me got into a conflict with your boy here. Those 2 kids didn't know beforehand that the so-called Black Mountain meeting was backed by your youngster, which led to this mess. Fortunately, both parties knew to hold back and didn't make a big fuss about it. I think we might as well let bygones be bygones. Song Ming Song's tone was amiable, offering a rather comfortable listening experience, yet the more he spoke this way, the heavier Zhu Yakue's heart sank. Who in White Tower floating land didn't know of Song Ming Song's explosive temperament? For him to approach with such a demeanor suggested that those involved were far from the simple 2 juniors mentioned. After pondering for a while, Zhu Yakue asked, All Song, the juniors you mentioned are specifically. At the mention of this, Song Ming Song's expression became somewhat strained, hesitating before he finally replied. It's rather embarrassing to say, the same as with you, old Zhu. Song Ming Song did not elaborate, but Zhu Yakue instantly had an epiphany. Zhu Kong was his son, and if their relationship was the same, that meant those who had the conflict with Zhu Kong were Song Ming Song's sons. With this understanding, Zhu Yakue quickly agreed to let the matter rest, with both parties agreeing to not pursue it any further. Of course, Song Ming-song wasn't one to be stingy. The continued existence in Jongwon City was ultimately necessary for the Song Chao side. Thus, after the agreement, Song Ming-song took out 200 of the 1,000 titanium crystals he'd mentioned, which would later be delivered to Zhu Yakue. Upon hearing about the 200 titanium crystals, the smile on Zhu Yakue's face grew more genuine. After all, Zhu Kong had come to no harm, and he had received 200 titanium crystals. He had gained in both face and substance, and would naturally not pursue the matter any further, neither overtly nor covertly. Once the communication ended and Zhu Kong, who had maintained silence behind him, felt somewhat dissatisfied. Dad, if they could easily produce 200 titanium crystals, it means they must have gained far more. Are we really going to let it go just like that? Zhu Yakue's expression turned cold as he scolded. Do you think I don't know that? Do I need you to remind me? When beaten by better skills and someone else gets the jump on you, whom can you blame? I warn you, let's end this matter here. Old Song Ming-song is not an ordinary man, his demeanor is untamed and lawless. If truly provoked, nobody could stop him except for the one guarding the White Tower. Feeling a shock in his heart, Zhu Kong had never before, in his more than 100 years of life, heard Zhu Yakue so directly admit anyone was beyond him. Watching Zhu Kang's departing figure, Zhu Yakue's gaze became uncertain. In truth, there was something he hadn't said. Even without considering the power disparity, the other party was significantly younger. As a third-rank torch ship captain already 500 years old and entering his twilight years, even if he could hold off Song Ming-song for a moment, what would he do once his time came? Let alone Zhu Kong, even his strongest son was at the peak of second rank, with a less than 10% chance of advancing to the third rank. Without him, one word from Song Ming-song could dissipate the Zhu family like smoke. This fact was actually the primary reason he was reluctant to provoke Song Ming-song. As far as he knew, Song Ming-song was not even 300 years old yet, terrifyingly young, and even possessing considerable potential to advance to the fourth rank. Search the novelfire.nt website on Google to access chapters of novels early and in the highest quality. Chapter 54, The Last Ruins Market Trade of the Zero THT Stage. Chapter 54, The Last Ruins Market Trade of the Zero THT Stage. After receiving Song Ming-song's definite response, Song Chao and Shen Wenjie naturally had no more worries, and Jongwon City returned to calm once more. As someone who hadn't participated, Song Chi didn't have strong feelings about all the changes during this period. He continued with his cultivation plan as before. The 2 batches of advanced body tempering potions laced with deep water clam pearls had almost affected his foundation, but after stabilizing his foundation again, there could be no slack in the cultivation of the guidance technique. His father, Song Chao, and his former class advisor, Yong Ming-hui, had both emphasized repeatedly that perseverance is crucial in cultivating the guidance technique. Even if the cultivation speed becomes extremely slow after reaching the second rank, then a slight mishap could mean running out of lifespan without advancing to the next rank. The less time spent in early cultivation leaves more time for cultivating at the second and third ranks, thereby increasing the hopes of advancing to even higher ranks in the future. Search the nelfa.net website on Google to access chapters of novels early and in the highest quality. In the blink of an eye, more than 20 days flew by. In front of the ultra-long-distance Space Gate random deployment platform at the Zhutian Ruins Market, Song Chi's face was filled with excitement. Today was the start of a new cycle of trading at the Ruins Market, and the buffer time on the deployment platform was down to the last 10 minutes, soon to open the third Ruins Market trade. And after today's trade, the Zhutian Ruins Market would be able to satisfy the condition of opening the Ruins Market trades 3 times. Afterward, it would be able to advance from 0 rank to first rank. Just thinking about it, he felt overwhelmingly excited. It wasn't that Song Chi lacked composure, but the benefits that came with advancing the Zhutian Ruins Market were simply too significant. It would not only increase the number of portals deployed each time but also increase the restrictions on the Space Gate from 0 rank to first rank. Simply put, before the advancement, only 0-rank alien species could enter the market to trade, but once advanced, first-rank alien species could also pass freely through the special gate. The significance of this was immense. It was like comparing children to adults. Children might have some pocket money, but it was insignificant compared to adults who could earn their own living. And the more wealth the alien species brought into the Jution ruins market, the more Song-Chi, the ruins market master, would earn. Besides these 2 points, there might be other new features after the market advanced, though this was not yet certain. But just these 2 points alone were enough to excite and anticipate Song-Chi. This thought quickly diluted his somewhat poor mood from returning empty-handed from the alien star domain exploration the day before yesterday. Speaking of the third exploration of the alien star domain the day before yesterday, Song-Chi felt helpless. Although he hadn't encountered any danger, he was indeed thrown into a starry sea hollow zone where he piloted the Tsongchong at lightspeed cruise for a full 24 hours without finding a single resource point, not even a whisper of life from beginning to end. True, hollow zones in the shattered starry sea are not rare, and many second and third rank torch captains have experiences of being thrown into hollow zones. But that was after at least 10 years of awakening and dozens or hundreds of star domain deployments. For Song-Chi to encounter a starry sea hollow zone on his third deployment was rather unlucky. The only thing he felt fortunate about was that it was a hollow zone and not some black hole's devouring lair, otherwise he might have had to gamble on whether the torch warship could still be pulled back to the Jution ruins market. Dismissing these messy thoughts, Song-Chi soon refocused. He was just complaining about his luck, returning empty-handed wasn't a big deal. The nearly 2,000 strands of zero-rank floating land origin capital he had reserved from before was still there. At most, he would just have to open the ruins market trades a couple more times to earn it back. As he mused, the buffer time for the ultra-long-distance Space Gate random deployment platform finally reached 0. Do you confirm the activation of the ultra-long-distance Space Gate random deployment platform? Confirmed. Whirring. In the midst of intense vibrations, 19 arcs of light almost simultaneously lit up above the deployment platform. Then 19 arc-shaped, illusory special gates quietly emerged at the entrance of the ruins market. As time passed, the various types of alien species began to come and go through these phantom portals, and the Jution ruins market quickly burst to life. The goods inside the market, as usual, differed little from the last 2 times: tungsten gold combat shields, tungsten gold lances, primary gene optimization potions, intermediate gene optimization potions, basic gene civilian exoskeletons, etc., almost the same kind of highly universal, relatively affordable items. The only difference from last time was that Song-Chi had specially made space for one shop. The shop had no goods displayed. In the center was a crystal counter, and on the counter lay a blazing white, pyramidal crystal. Yes, that crystal was titanium crystal, but Song-Chi wasn't displaying it for sale. On the contrary, he intended to purchase it. This titanium crystal was just a sample, so that the alien species entering the shop could clearly see what titanium crystal looks like and avoid missing out. Titanium crystal might be heavily regulated and in great demand within the entire Torch human civilization, but that didn't mean that every Starry Sea civilization valued this special resource. This created preconditions for Song-Chi's initiative to buy. Although only a few hundred alien species entered the market each time and the chances of purchasing titanium crystal were very small, then although Song-Chi currently had no use for it, he still agreed with the idea of being prepared. As long as he actively sought to buy in every ruins market trade, even if the chances were low, if he tried enough times, there would eventually come a day when he would acquire some. But if he didn't even want to try, then the chance would always be 0. Beyond that, Song-Chi had also considered including the special fire seed type strange objects in the purchase list. Although most fire seed type strange objects couldn't be used as fuel for advancing the seed of Torch, the Starry Sea is vast, and the alien species that enter the market come from all over. What if he encountered a suitable fire seed strange object? However, after some thought, Song-Chi gave up on the idea. The reason was simple: even if he did find one, he couldn't afford to pay the asking price. Each Starry Sea oddity had its value, and unless he traded it for an object of equivalent strangeness, the cost of purchase with other items would be unimaginable. Of course, he was only temporarily giving up. Once the Starry Sea market developed fully and he had enough capital and various other strange objects on hand, he would eventually bring the purchase of special fire seed type strange objects back to his agenda. Chapter 55 Moruo Clan Life-Saving Reward. Chapter 55 Muro Clan Life-Saving Reward. As it turned out, Song-Chi's idea was indeed a good one. As more and more alien species entered the ruins market, although the most popular stores were still those selling genetic potions and tungsten gold combat shields, tungsten gold lances, many different alien species had also entered this exclusive purchasing shop in succession. Unfortunately, upon seeing the titanium crystals clearly, these aliens all shook their heads in confusion, clearly having never encountered such a resource in their past experiences. Song-Chi was not in a hurry. Titanium crystal was an extremely rare resource. If it was so easy to come by, it would not have been classified as a strategic resource by Torch human civilization's officials. As time passed, aside from occasionally paying attention to the titanium crystal purchasing shop, Song-Chi continued to wander around the free trading area as usual, looking for goods with large price differences and also on the lookout for any rare items that might appear. However, the result was obvious: it wasn't that easy to stumble upon rare items. Yet, Song-Chi managed to acquire quite a number of items at much lower prices than those at White Tower Floating Land. Thus, several more hours quickly passed by, and the ruins market trading session was nearing its end. At that moment, Song-Chi stopped haggling with a stall owner and turned his gaze toward the entrance of the ruins market. Just then, he had felt waves of special fluctuations from one of the 19 special vortex gates, and importantly, no life forms had entered or exited through this gate before. Has another special gate been discovered by an alien species from the alien territories? No sooner had the thought arisen in his mind than the special fluctuations from that vortex gate became more apparent. Seconds later, a life form that had never before appeared in the ruins market emerged from the special gate. After scanning this figure with his spiritual sense, Song-Chi's eyebrows raised, and light swirled in the depths of his eyes, seemingly profound with meaning. If he wasn't mistaken, the current situation of the newly arrived alien species in the ruins market did not bode well. On its nearly humanoid body, dark green blood was seeping out, and its left arm was mysteriously missing, leaving only a right arm. Clearly, it had likely stumbled into the ruins market entrance amidst chaos after a fierce battle, and it might even be that at the very entrance of the ruins market it entered, a large group of enemies was waiting for it. Watching the alien species first scan the rule-enforcing light curtain at the market entrance and then stumble excitedly into the interior of the ruins market, Song-Chi maintained a composed demeanor while closely monitoring the unknown alien. Not for any other reason but the fact that such an entry method, distinct from other life forms, was enough to spark considerable interest. After entering the ruins market, the alien species looked around before finally entering a genetic potion shop and exchanging 50 rank life cores for a primary healing potion. After using the primary healing potion, its injuries quickly stabilized. However, it didn't rush to leave but stayed in the genetic potion shop for a while, further understanding the specific effects of various potions through the information light screen in the shop. Apparently failing to find the potion it desired, the alien left the shop in disappointment and eventually made its way to the free trading zone. Seeing that it seemed to be setting up a stall, the surrounding aliens who had been secretly watching for a long time now crowded around, sharing Song-Chi's curiosity about this individual. Once the stall was set up, the one-armed alien began to take out various items from its backpack. These items were varied, including first-rank life cores, special minerals, floating land origins, and so on. Among the crowd, Song-Chi, upon seeing the first-rank floating land origin, immediately asked in the standard Starry Sea common language. For the first-rank floating land origin, what do you wish to exchange it for? The one-armed alien continued to take things out, but it didn't ignore Song-Chi's question. Life-saving items, items that can harm a first-rank life entity, items that can help me quickly advance to first rank, items that can help me escape. If you can bring out any of these 4 kinds of items, we can further discuss the price. Upon hearing these words, the surrounding aliens became abuzz with discussion and many soon lost interest and left. It wasn't that the one-armed alien was asking for too much, after all, it said that the price could be further negotiated, but the 4 types of items mentioned were all extremely valuable, and these 0-rank aliens generally didn't possess them. And even if some aliens genuinely had them, they would prefer to keep them for their own use instead of trading them. Amidst the crowd, Song-Chi also appeared conflicted. Although the first-rank floating land origin was a desirable item, the 4 types of items that the other party mentioned were not something he could easily produce. Seeing the varied expressions of the aliens around the stall with none speaking up, the one-armed alien grew incredibly anxious. From the rule enforcing light curtain earlier, it knew that the end of this trade session wasn't far off. If it couldn't use the little time remaining to exchange for the needed items, death awaited. Thinking this, it seemed to become truly desperate, reaching into its backpack again. When the item it took out was revealed to everyone, the eyes of all the aliens there lit up. Under the dazzling purple light was a palm-sized brain tissue that looked disgusting, but the purple light it emitted was unmistakably genuine. It was indeed a starry sea oddity of purple quality, and a highly uncommon one at that. Suddenly, the aliens who had left not long before came flocking back, and even more aliens surged toward the place. Before long, the one-armed alien stall was surrounded by hundreds of aliens, demonstrating the allure of a purple-quality strange object. By then, the one-armed alien no longer hid its circumstances, candidly revealing its current situation. Outside, there are at least 5 first-rank Monroe clan members waiting for me. I don't want anything else. Whoever can provide the item that can most effectively save my life, this purple-quality brain-eating race supreme brain will be theirs. Around the stall, the aliens' eyes shone with greed and desire, but no life dared to act. Over the previous 20 or so hours, other aliens had paid the price for thinking sinister thoughts. After some discussion, this covetously watched trade had yet to be completed, not for lack of attempts by the aliens to bring out their most prized possessions, but they all failed to satisfy the one-armed alien. There was no way around it. Asking for a 0-rank lifeform to have the power to fight against 5 first-rank lifeforms in a short time, or to safely escape under their watchful eyes, was just too difficult. Chapter 56, Purple Component, Brainwave Remote Control System. Chapter 56, Purple Component, Brainwave Remote Control System. As for the reactions of the various alien races, Song-Chi paid no attention, his gaze fixed on the object in the one-armed alien's hand from beginning to end. Soon, he obtained the attributes of this purple starry sea oddity. Strange object, brain-eating race super wave main brain. Quality, purple. Evolutionary featured brainwave remote control system. Remark, a high-rank stellar sea creature's brain, after a long period of evolution, finally transformed into this purple relic. Its function is somewhat special. After reading these attributes, Song-Chi was still not quite satisfied. He needed to see the transformed attributes of this strange object as a worship component before he could understand its specific effects and whether it was suitable for him or not. Of course, regardless, he was undoubtedly going to attempt to acquire this purple-level oddity. Even if it was not suitable for him, he could later list it for sale on the Torch network. A purple-level worship component would surely attract the interest of many Torch ship captains. After organizing his words, Song-Chi tentatively spoke. Vendor, I need to examine it by hand to determine if this oddity is suitable for myself. Would that be possible? The one-armed alien looked wary, having entered the ruins market not long ago. Although it had seen the various rules and regulations at the entrance of the market, it had never personally witnessed what happened to those alien species that did not follow the trading rules. Being cautious was its instinct. At this moment, the surrounding alien races actually did it a great favor. Some of them said, "Don't be nervous, if you are worried about this mere folk making a move, you can request the will of the ruins market space's laws as a witness. Under the laws will, no one dares to harbor ill intentions." Hearing this, the one-armed alien tentatively summoned the so-called laws will of the ruins market space. Seeing this, Song-Chi remained calm, while his thoughts subtly shifted, drawing upon the secret realm laws of the ruins market space to materialize an ethereal golden dragon above the trading booth. Instantly, a vast and mighty aura of laws enveloped the entire ruins market space. See the novelfire.net website on Google to access chapters of novels early and in the highest quality. Seeing this, the one-armed alien finally let go of its concerns. This profound and abyssal presence allowed it to completely relax its caution, for if there truly was a being within the trading space capable of wielding such mighty power, there was no need to trick it using such means. The other party could easily take away the purple relic in its hand if they wished to. Seeing that the other party had agreed, Song-Chi reached out and took the oddity. Under the watchful eyes of the various alien races, he carefully shielded it with his cloak's hood. He used the power of the ruins market laws to disguise himself as a member of the merfolk, and naturally, he could not expose his ancestral torch, spectral energy, and other attributes. The Starry Sea was vast, but it was always better to be safe than sorry, so each time he conducted a transaction in the ruins market, he concealed his identity. Assuring that no onlooker could see under the hood of his cloak, he then gently moved the object to his forehead, and thereafter, he channeled the seed of torch from within his ancestral aperture. Soon, strands of dark energy surged from the ancestral torch, swirling around the purple relic. With the help of the seed of torch, Song-Chi quickly obtained the detailed attributes of the strange object as it transformed into a worship component. Brainwave Remote Control System LV0. Quality, purple. Consumption, 10 per second after activation. Feature, when the owner of the worship is marked with the brainwave beacon, they can reverse control the torch worship. Effect, once the component is activated, a brainwave beacon can be condensed, which allows remote control of creatures, mechanical creations, etc., that are marked by the beacon. Control distance, 10 light seconds. Duration, 40 minutes, buffer, 6 hours. Up rank requirement, 10 strands of floating land origin, 0 rank, 500 spectral energy points, and 10 kilograms of soul crystal. After reviewing the attributes, Song-Chi handed the strange object back to the one-armed alien without any expression. Although there was no visible change on the surface, his heart was already alight with excitement. From the details provided on the attribute panel, it was clear that this was a special kind of worship component with a unique function. Once activated, it could be used for remote control. And this effect, in Song-Chi's view, was tremendously valuable. Firstly, it could be applied to the Fire Peony soldier figurines. The biggest disadvantage of all soldier figurine components was their inability to stray too far from the torch ship captain. After all, they were puppets without their own consciousness, passively following the captain's commands. Once separated from their torch ship captain by a significant distance, they would lose their ability to move, and this limitation had a massive impact in many situations. For instance, when exploring unknown areas, since they couldn't venture too far from the torch ship captain, a sudden crisis would also affect the torch ship captain at the rear. It also made it impossible for them to complete some special tasks on their own. However, with this brainwave remote control system, it would only be necessary to imprint a brainwave beacon on the soldier figurines in advance, allowing for real-time control from anywhere, rendering the previous restrictions irrelevant. Besides, imprinting the brainwave beacon on oneself would also make remote controlling the flagship possible. This energy supply seems somewhat suitable for creating alibis. Additionally, Song-Chi actually had another idea. He was curious to see whether this brainwave remote control system would work with Jution Ruins Market by leaving a Fire Peony soldier figurine outside to sense external situations in real time before each visit to the market. If it proved possible, then his future use of Jution Ruins Market to avoid various dangers would become much more feasible. Previously, when he entered the Ruins Market, he was completely clueless about the outside world, which made it difficult for him to gauge the optimal time to leave the market. Leaving too early might mean the danger had not yet fully passed. But if he waited too long to depart, he feared missing the return time of Song-Chi. It was highly distressing. If this brainwave remote control system really could achieve this effect, his future entrances and exits into the Ruins Market would become far more convenient. However, Song-Chi didn't hold much confidence in his heart. Purple quality relics were indeed rare, but Jution Ruins Market was situated in the shadow of the Starry Sea within the Void Gap. He felt it would be difficult for the brainwave remote control system to contact the outside world through the limitless expanse of void space. Nevertheless, even if the chances were slim in that respect, the mere functionality of the brainwave remote control system itself meant that Song-Chi had to acquire this relic. Perhaps due to the limited selection of goods among the zero-rank alien race, more than 10 minutes had passed without the appearance of an item that satisfied the one-armed alien. Seeing this, Song-Chi also took several items out of the large backpack behind him. Advanced exoskeleton armor, a combat robot with first-rank combat power, and 3 energy grenades capable of threatening first-rank species. After bringing out these items, he went on to explain the effect of each of them. One set of advanced exoskeleton armor, as long as it is powered by a battery, once worn, it can greatly enhance strength, speed, resistance to impact, and various other attributes. The effect is also quite significant even when facing fast-rank species. One fast-rank combat robot, likewise, just put in a battery and it can engage in a head-on fight with fast-rank species. 3 energy grenades, if you can seize the right moment, they can severely injure a fast-rank creature. Chapter 57, Success. Chapter 57, Success. After a careful introduction, Song-Chi felt a bit nervous at the bottom of his heart. It wasn't that he cared about the guesses around him, but he was intently watching the one-armed alien behind the booth, waiting for its response. These few items were not easily put together. If the alien didn't agree to the trade, he really wouldn't be able to offer any other items that met the conditions at the moment. It's not that these items were particularly precious. Once back in Jongwon City, as long as he had floating land origin and credit points, he could buy as many as he wanted. They were nowhere comparable to the purple quality Starry Sea oddity, but the key was that these were the only suitable items Song-Chi currently had. He had prepared them specifically for the last exploration of the alien star domain to be safe, or else he wouldn't have even had this to offer. If he could temporarily leave the Jution ruins market, everything would be so simple. Just getting a second-hand military-grade energy shield or something would solve all problems once and for all. Once equipped with a military-grade energy shield, one wouldn't only be safe from first-rank species, even attacks from second-rank energy levels could be resisted several times. But the problem was that he couldn't leave right now. If chaos broke out in the ruins market, not to mention purple relics, even the profits he had already secured were likely to be swept away. As for why he didn't let the Fire Peony soldier figurine accompany him as a bodyguard, it's not that he didn't want to, but that he couldn't. First, as mentioned before, the Fire Peony soldier figurine could not venture far from him, beat Summoner. Second, even if it could, it wouldn't be able to pass through the illusory portal at the entrance to the ruins market. Only the alien species that entered through these portals could return the same way. Others couldn't pass through these portals, and even with the Fire Peony soldier figurine's first-rank strength, it exceeded the special gate's current limitation of only allowing 0-rank species to pass. The one-armed alien looked hesitant, somewhat tempted but still seemingly feeling that it wasn't quite safe enough. Just relying on these 3 items wouldn't ensure its safety from the first-rank Morwo clan in the outside world. Seeing this, Song-Chi simply took out 2 blue tube potions. This is an advanced genetic potion and an advanced body tempering potion. If you manage to reach the peak of 0 rank, taking both of these potions together will increase the chance of advancing to first rank. Seeing a hint of skepticism in the alien's eyes, Song-Chi continued. Both of these potions were recently bought from the genetic potion store. Their effects are guaranteed. Having said this, the illusory golden dragon above the sky let out a long cry as if responding to his words. That still wasn't enough. Song-Chi added one last sentence, and it was this sentence that finally prompted the one-armed alien in front of him to make a decision. If you're still unwilling, then forget it. This is all I can offer right now. After that, the one-armed alien finally nodded in agreement, but it added one final condition. Okay, but you'll have to fully supply the specialized batteries for this combat robot and the advanced exoskeleton armor. Snap. Song-Chi snapped his fingers. No problem, I've got plenty of intermediate energy batteries in my pack. With that, he pulled out dozens of matching intermediate energy batteries from his backpack. After successfully acquiring that Brain-Eating Race's Supreme Brain Purple Relic, the subsequent trading process returned to dullness, with no new oddities appearing. Half an hour before the end of the ruins market, Song-Chi began the same procedure as last time. He set up a stall on his own, exchanging 0-rank floating land origin for first-rank floating land origin. This time luck wasn't great. He had only 210 strands of first-rank floating land origin in total, nearly 100 less than last time. Song-Chi could only console himself that after this time things should improve. After this, the Jution ruins market would upgrade from 0 rank to first rank. Subsequently, first-rank alien civilizations would enter and exit the marketplace, and the circulation of first-rank floating land origin in the marketplace should gradually increase. Aside from the first-rank floating land origin, with other resources purchased at a difference in price, the total value exceeded 9,000 strands of zero-rank floating land origin. Upon really calculating it, the gain from zero-rank floating land origin this time actually surpassed last time. It seemed that the empty return from the last alien star domain exploration didn't affect this ruins market trade. However, that wasn't really the case. The reason only over 8,000 strands of zero-rank floating land origin were calculated last time was first because over 1,000 strands were converted into first-rank floating land origin, and secondly because of the 6 deep-water clam pearls and the drop of mermaid's tear that had already been given to his mother the day before, and neither of this was included in the calculation. This time, the purple relic, brain-eating race's supreme brain, was obtained in exchange for items originally not for sale: advanced exoskeleton armor, first-rank combat robots, energy grenades, 2 intermediate body tempering potions. Since these items were not procured with prepared capital, and naturally they couldn't be included in this trade's earnings. Comparing both instances, it wasn't hard to conclude that the returns from this trade were at least several thousand strands of zero-rank floating land origin fewer than last time, and this was the final result of the unsuccessful exploration of the alien star domain. Regarding this, Song-Chi felt a bit regrettable. But he didn't dwell on it too much. As soon as all alien species had left and the ruins market trade officially came to an end, he quickly opened the property panel of the Jution ruins market. With the end of this trade, all conditions for the ruins market's ascension had been met, and he couldn't wait to upgrade the Jution ruins market to first rank. Conditions met. Do you wish to spend 200 strands of zero-rank floating land origin to upgrade the ruins market level to LV10? Confirm. With the word confirm, the 200 strands of zero-rank floating land origin floating in front of him suddenly dissipated, merging into the marketplace space, followed by an intense trembling of the entire Jution ruins market. If someone from the outside void were to look in at that moment, they would see the Jution ruins market turning into a dazzling sphere of light, exceptionally eye-catching in the pitch-black void. In a place extremely distant from the Jution ruins market, in the nearly eternal silence of the void, are a series of creatures with blue-black bodies, spiral horns on their heads, and dark wings on their backs roam through terrifying void storms. See the novel F.8 website on Google to access chapters of novels early and in the highest quality. The void gunwings that seemed so terrifying in Song-Chi's eyes, these creatures, less than 2 meters tall and completely unknown, roamed and weaved through as if the winds were non-existent, unaffected in the slightest. Just then, this group of creatures with red eyes and an aura of violence turned sharply and looked to the side. In that direction, a faint light had just flashed and disappeared. The light was fleeting, but, in this silent void, it was extremely noticeable. Chapter 58, Void Demon, please follow. Chapter 58, Void Demon, please follow. Regarding the disturbance caused by the advancement of the Jution ruins market, Song-Chi didn't feel much. Being inside the ruins market, all he could sense was the market's own trembling and the fleeting brilliance of intense light. As the light quickly faded, he reopened his eyes, filled with anticipation, already imagining what changes the advancement of the ruins market would bring. However, the duration of this advancement was somewhat unexpected. The previous 9 promotions had been instantaneous, but this time was different. The trembling beneath his feet had not ceased, and the property panel of the ruins market was still unchanged. But since it was a great rank promotion, which was different from the past, Song-Chi didn't pay much attention to it. Whoosh whoosh whoosh. Suddenly, countless sharp whizzing sounds came from all directions. Song-Chi, who was just getting ready to calmly wait for the end of the ruins market's promotion, instantly heard alarm bells ringing in his heart. He was all too familiar with this kind of noise. It was the sound made when the White-Winged tribe had thrown their fork-like weapons with full force to attack the Tsongchong when they first encountered them during the welfare drop. Quickly looking up, his gaze penetrated the spectral energy protective light curtain above the ruins market and looked outside. What Song-Chi saw next made his scalp tingle. Beyond the hemispherical spectral energy protective light curtain, the sky above the ruins market was completely covered with densely packed green-black figures, numbering at least in the 4 digits. A multitude of attacks continuously struck the spectral energy protective array, causing countless ripples. Then take a look at these green-black creatures. Spiral horns, wings on their backs, and the threads of brutal aura emanating from their bodies. When his gaze captured these distinctive features, Song-Chi instantly had an answer in his heart. Damn it, it's the void demons. How could such terrifying creatures suddenly appear, and in such huge numbers? Song-Chi's face was ashen. He was able to recognize this group of creatures so quickly because the void demons were infamously well known, so well known that basically every Starry Sea civilization would warn of their existence within their own realm. Void demons, the type of void creature, and notably one of the most notorious, are not only individually powerful in combat but, more importantly, they are highly bloodthirsty, which is the very characteristic most disliked by the Starry Sea civilizations. Anywhere visited by the void demons would see all life hunted to extinction, no exceptions. These creatures seemed to be born purely for slaughter, with carnage bringing them excitement. Fortunately, they could not stay away from the void space for too long. After being away from the void space for a certain amount of time, they must return, otherwise, they would continue to weaken until they eventually died. However, Song-Chi felt no joy at this point because the Jution ruins market has always been floating within the gaps of the void. Simply put, he was right in the enemy's headquarters. Doesn't the Jution ruins market have the averting misfortune feature? How did these things find their way here? Could it be that the averting misfortune feature has failed? Or is it? As his thoughts raced, Song-Chi's heart shuddered. He realized the reason. Other than the burst of intense light that surfaced during the promotion, he couldn't think of any other reason. Anger, frustration, panic. In a brief span of time, a myriad emotions surged in Song-Chi's heart. The key issue was that the information he had previously received about the ruins market secret realm did not mention that promotion could lead to such a scenario. Suppressing all the emotions one by one, what he needed to do now was just one thing, to stay calm. As long as he remained calm and actively looked for ways to respond, there was still a possibility for things to turn around. Summon the Tsangchung to fight outside. Search *the novelfire.net * website on Google to access chapters of novels early and in the highest quality. Upgrade the spectral energy protective arrays level. Summon the fire peony soldier figurines. Further strengthen the various onboard components of the Tsangchung. Once he calmed down, Song-Chi's mind began to rapidly generate response plans, but the one that never surfaced from beginning to end was, leave the ruins market immediately and run away. As his golden finger, the Jution ruins market was his greatest reliance for climbing to the peak in the future. The orange glory quality dark matter energy shield generator was traded for the fire source needed for the seed of torch to advance in rank also came from the market, and today's purple quality component brainwave remote control system was likewise. Song-Chi truly could not imagine the consequences of losing access to the Jution ruins market. In the span of a thought, he was multitasking, calculating the most reasonable and perfect response plan as swiftly as possible. Soon, Song-Chi, having deduced the perfect response plan, started taking action in his hands. The first thing he did was not to summon the Tsangchung, but to open the attribute panel of the Jution ruins market and begin to fully strengthen the spectral energy protection formation configuration of the market. It's important to know that the spectral energy protective arrays level is still only LV0, and if it's not quickly upgraded, it might not be long before it is completely breached. It's precisely because this protection array is from the hands of an unknown powerful being of the immortal domain that its defense far surpasses energy shields of the same rank, otherwise, not to mention LV0, even if it were LV10, it would have overloaded long ago after so many attacks. After consuming 450 strands of zero-rank floating land origin, the spectral energy protective array was upgraded to LV9. Name: Spectral Energy Protective Array. Level: LV9. Effect: automatically absorbs void energy to form a semicircular protective light curtain. Defense: 500. Shield value: 38450/40,000. Post-overload buffer: 33 minutes. Note, from the hands of a mighty being of the immortal domain civilization of the starry sea. Up rank requirement ruins market level LV10, 150 strands of floating land origin, 0 rank. Song-Chi could only say it was worthy of being the work of a great being. They upgraded to LV9 spectral energy. Protective array had astonishing attributes. It's worth noting that the orange glory quality dark matter energy shield generator, when strengthened to LV10, only had a defense of 380 and a shield value of just 6080 points, which was simply weak in comparison to the LV9 spectral energy protective array. This excitement didn't last long. After strengthening the spectral energy protective array, Song-Chi, with a grave expression, quickly summoned the Song-Chiong. The spectral energy protective array was only for defense. To repel the thousands of void demons outside, he still needed the firepower of the formidable Song-Chiong. As the Song-Chiong landed, Song-Chi boarded the shuttle, his thoughts moved, and a prompt sounded in his ear. Do you want to spend 100 strands of zero-rank floating land origin to upgrade the white torch fuselage to LV10? Based on the level and quality of the components on the Song-Chiong, the success rate of this upgrade is 96%. Hearing this prompt, Song-Chi paused while loading the purple quality brainwave remote control system component. He clicked to confirm the upgrade. The upgrade from the spectral shuttle to the spectral airship was quick, and just over 10 seconds later, the Song-Chiong began to rapidly expand, its hull length quickly going from 7 meters to close to 20 meters. The streamlined fuselage, now covered in gold rock armor, appeared even more solid. Although it's a far cry from the true steel behemoths that are thousands of meters long, it was already starting to look a bit more ferocious. Chapter 59, the Song-Chiong rises to first rank. Chapter 59, the Song-Chiong rises to first rank. As the ghost light on the surface of the warship gradually dimmed, Song-Chi knew that the Song-Chiong had completed its advancement from a spectral shuttle to a spectral airship, and he quickly glanced over the airship's attributes. As expected, the attributes of the Song-Chiong had undergone significant changes. Firstly, all 8 basic slots on the torch warships received a special boost, and any component, regardless of quality, mounted on these slots would have its effects increased by 20%. This was an enhancement effect that all torch warships advancing to spectral airships would obtain. Not limited to spectral airships, with each subsequent advancement, this enhancement effect would further increase, which was the fundamental reason why torch warships of different ranks had such vast differences in combat power within torch human civilization. Imagine, although this enhancement effect was fixed, the mere 20% was already equivalent to adding an exclusive feature to all basic components that enhanced might. And features, as one might not need to specify, were something that only blue top rank, or even purple level components could have. Just this point alone allows one to imagine the terrifying improvement in overall performance whenever a torch warship advanced a great rank. Take the particle beam cannon that had just been mounted not long ago, for example. Its might attribute at enhancement level 10 was originally 173, but now it would receive an additional 20% increase on this base, which would be 173 by 120% equals 208 points. The dark matter energy shield generator was the same, but the two attributes it amplified were the defense value and shield value. Defense, 880 by 120% equals 1056. Shield value, 16280/16280x 120% equals 19536/19536. All the general components in the other basic slots were likewise enhanced, and even the structural integrity of the torch warship itself was increased by 20%. Beyond that, the number of special slots had increased from 6 to 10. The importance of this point was extremely high, but since Song-Chi did not have any additional special shipborne components at the moment, the impact was not apparent yet. After advancing the Song-Chiong, Song-Chi took out the more than 200 strands of first-rank floating land origin he had and continued enhancing the particle beam cannon component. To combat void demons with 4-digit numbers, firepower had to be strong, so Song-Chi used up all the first-rank floating land origin he had. In the end, after spending 180 strands of first-rank origin, he enhanced the particle beam cannon to level 16. Particle beam main cannon LV16. Quality blue. Consumption 46 per shot spectral energy points. Feature main cannon might increase 18%. Might 389 by 120%. Charge 3s buffer 5s. Up rank requirement 51 strands of floating land origin fast rank 5400 spectral energy points. After the shipborne main cannon, he spent another batch of resources to enhance the spectral cannon to level 10. Though the main cannon was powerful, both its charge and buffer times were not short. The secondary cannon was different, as it required no charge or long buffer time, allowing for continuous strafing. It also had a very low spectral energy points consumption, and while its might was somewhat lacking, its suitability for this sort of group battle with numerous enemies was beyond doubt. Spectral Cannon LV10. Quality colorless. Consumption 3/short spectral energy points. Might 11 by 20%. No need for buffering and charging. Up rank requirement 2000 spectral energy points. With the spectral cannon enhanced to LV10, this last-minute fortification finally came to an end. As for the dark matter energy shield generator and the engine component, without a replacement, it's not possible to further enhance them. During the enhancement of the Tsongcheong, the attacks against the spectral energy protective array did not diminish. Watching the protective light screen ripple, and then glancing at the array's defense value, Song-Chi knew he couldn't delay any longer and had to counterattack soon. The shield value that was close to 40,000 before enhancement had alarmingly dropped below 35,000. Search the novelfire.net website on Google to access chapters of novels early and in the highest quality. In response, Song-Chi's thoughts turned, and the newly installed, yet-to-be-enhanced brainwave remote control system was activated. He injected a brainwave beacon into his own body. Indeed, he was not preparing to fight alongside the ship but rather to remotely control the Tsongcheong through brainwave remote control. He himself would stay within the ruins market, commanding 10 fire peony soldier figurines to fight with civilian energy pulse guns. This was the best way to utilize all available forces to the fullest extent. Humming. The Tsongcheong's engine activated, and amid a humming sound, it suddenly burst out of the spectral energy protective array, leaving a long trail of flame in its wake. As soon as it burst out of the array, the relentless firing sound of the secondary cannon immediately began. For a moment, those void demons outside were somewhat baffled by the nearly 20-meter-long steel airship stirring things up. Though the secondary cannon's might was weak, its high rate of fire made up for it. The cost of 3 spectral energy points per shot was negligible in front of the LV-19 enhanced spectral engine. As long as the engine didn't overload, this terrifying barrage could continue indefinitely. Add to that, although there were many void demons, the average rank was not high. Over 90% were 0 rank, and there were only about 100 first rank void demons, with second rank ones yet to be spotted. Hence, the first rank enhanced spectral cannon was still capable of inflicting considerable damage. Not surprisingly, the attention of the vast majority of the void demons was drawn to the Tsongcheong. They began to beat their pitch-black wings, rushing to chase after it. This significantly alleviated the pressure on the spectral energy protective array. Attacks still occasionally struck the light screen, but the rate of shield value decrease had become manageable. Aim for those creatures outside the light screen above, fire. Song-Chi issued the attack command while standing at the edge of the protective light screen. Soon, the fire peony soldier figurines began lifting their energy pulse guns time and again, targeting the void demons above and commencing their attack. Inside the spectral energy protective array, the defenders could freely counterattack without affecting the protective light screen. The feature of this protective light screen was such that it allowed attacks outward but not inward. The reason for not simply having the Tsongcheong stay inside the ruins market to attack was that it wasn't just tasked with providing fire coverage but also needed to attract the attention of the majority of the void demons, preventing them from focusing their attacks on the spectral energy formation. Otherwise, the protective light screen wouldn't last long. Whizzing. Streams of energy pulses were precisely hitting the void demons in the air. This batch of fire peony soldier figurines had been summoned for over a month, and Song-Chi had already demonstrated to them how to use the energy pulse guns. Although it was somewhat awkward for the puppets to use these thermal weapons, they could still manage to fire and shoot normally. The civilian energy pulse gun was an energy ray weapon developed by Torch human civilization, with an average might around the peak of 0 rank. Since they were originally intended for use by first-rank fire peony soldier figurines, Song-Chi had specifically requested that they be modified for enhanced firepower at the Eagle Machinery Shop. Now, the energy pulse guns in their hands all possessed the usual first-rank might. This was also a point that Song-Chi was immensely grateful for at the moment. Chapter 60, Crisis, please follow. Chapter 60, Crisis, please follow. Due to the enhancement of the energy pulse gun's firepower, even though these void demons possessed bodily strength far beyond the same rank, with quite formidable combat power, they were merely a one-shot deal and a first-rank firepower. This significantly increased the speed at which Song-Chi and the 10 fire peony soldier figurines cleared out these void demons. Whoosh! 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 Under the onslaught of energy pulse rays, one after another, the 0-rank void demons were consecutively killed. Their bodies fell from the sky crashing against the hemispherical light screen of the spectral energy protective array, before sliding down and piling up around the Jution ruins market. Sizzling. Hearing the intense corrosion sound coming from the protective light screen, Song-Chi's brows furrowed tightly. This was caused by the black blood dripping from inside the void demons onto the light screen. This black blood flowing through their bodies was extremely hot and highly corrosive, severely depleting the shield value of the spectral energy protective array. Faced with this situation, Song-Chi found himself without a method to counter it for the moment. To push back these void demons, they had to kill a large number of them, but as soon as they made an attack, this highly corrosive blood was inevitable, an irreconcilable contradiction. 20878/40,000. Glancing at the defense value of the spectral energy formation and seeing it about to drop below 20,000 points, Song-Chi grew increasingly anxious. The Tsongcheong, having successfully advanced to first rank and equipped with the orange energy shield component, indeed had a shocking combat power. Facing an attack from dozens of first rank and hundreds of 0-rank void demons, it was still able to counter and kill triple-digit numbers of void demons. But as the saying goes, even strength has its limits. After enduring for nearly half an hour amidst the encirclement of hundreds of void demons, even the dark matter energy shield generator, however powerful, had dimmed to an extreme. The shield value had plummeted below 10%, teetering on the edge of a complete overload. Yet even so, Song-Chi could not allow it to retreat back into the ruins market. Once the Tsongcheong pulled back, without its attraction, the more than 500 void demons outside would immediately turn their aggression towards the Jution ruins market. And the spectral energy formation, with its defense value about to drop below 20,000 points, would absolutely not withstand the collective assault of these massive numbers of demons. Damn it, I must think of something. If this continues, the Tsongcheong is likely to sink here, Song-Chi roared inwardly. The computing power of his mind was pushed to the limit, but he still couldn't find any countermeasures. All his cards were nearly played. Could he just conjure up more out of thin air? To make matters worse, due to the continuous overconsumption of his spiritual focus for more than half an hour, now Song-Chi's own form was somewhat unstable. He had to remotely control the Tsongcheong. To attack and evade, to command a group of fire peony soldier figurines to attack, take aim again and again with the energy pulse gun in his hand, and now he had to honestly consider further strategies. All of these tasks required him alone to operate, and consider simple bifurcation of the mind was completely insufficient. Bearing the faint throbbing pain emerging in his mind, Song-Chi gritted his teeth and persevered. At this moment, he was longing for the brief foray into the limit-breaking state he had stumbled upon before. If he could temporarily enter the threefold mind utilization state, he would not be in such disarray. Unfortunately, the previous 2 times were just luck. He happened to enter a limit-breaking state and had not truly mastered the skill. Half an hour of intense mental focus did not enable him to find that limit-breaking sensation again. It was merely a pity. Pausing slightly with the energy pulse gun raised in his hand, Song-Chi took out 2 energy grenades from behind him. Before the last exploration of the alien star domain, he had bought a total of 5, using 3 during the transaction with the brain-eating race's ultrawave hive mind strange object. Only the 2 in his hands remained. Spotting a location gathered with over 20 zero rank and fast rank void demons, he threw one energy grenade with all his strength. The energy grenade traced a straight line through the void and landed precisely in the midst of a group of more than 20 void demons. Boom. After a powerful fast rank explosion, the 20 or so void demons were immediately decimated, with only a few outer perimeter zero rank demons and 3 lucky fast rank demons surviving. This single energy grenade directly killed 15 zero rank void demons. Following a brief moment of triumph, one piece of bad news after another swiftly followed. Outside the ruins market, the Tsangchong's energy shield had completely overloaded. Attacks from the surrounding void demons began to strike directly onto the airship's warship armor, damaging both the armor and the ship itself. Search *the Nefire.8 website on Google to access chapters of novels early and in the highest quality. Inside the ruins market, the spectral energy formation's shield value officially dropped below 20,000. And under the corrosive influence of the void demon's scorching black blood, the speed of the shield value's depreciation became even more terrifying. Song Chi's heart sank to the bottom. At this rate, without even repelling the group of void demons, the spectral energy formation would shatter fast, and the entire ruins market would be entirely overrun. Although he was the master of the Zhution ruins market and could wield the power of laws of this ruins market secret realm, his power was limited to internal use only and could not be employed in external combat. And once the spectral energy formation was broken, the balance of the entire secret realm would also be destroyed, and the laws of the secret realm space would fall into disarray. By then it would be impossible to control them to deal with the void demons that had breached into the market. It was almost a checkmate, a situation that seemed impossible to salvage no matter what. At this juncture, a thought that Song Chi had never entertained before started to surface in his mind. He knew he had to start considering his own escape route. If Zhution ruins market could not be defended, he surely wouldn't stay and be buried with it. The Chengxing Principality was vast, the Torch human civilization even larger, and the Shattered Starry Sea was boundless. There were many more things out there waiting for him to personally experience, to witness, and to pursue. Having arrived in this tumultuous Starry Sea era, he wished to live another 200 years, 300 years, 600 years, or even 1,000. How could he be willing to die silently in this void without any fame? Countless thoughts surged through Song Chi's mind and, ultimately, he summoned the Tsangchong back to his side. If the Zhution ruins market was destined to be destroyed, then naturally, he would not allow the Tsangchong to sink here as well. Without the Zhution ruins market, all he could rely on in the future was the Tsangchong. As long as the Tsangchong was still there, with the orange dark matter energy shield generator and the purple brainwave remote control system components loaded on it, he had the confidence to carve out a niche in the world. At the very least, he wouldn't be completely obscure. With this thought, Song Chi's mind shifted, and the Tsangchong above, receiving the brainwave signals, turned around and forcefully returned to the interior of the ruins market. Looking at the reaction of the external void demons, as expected, once the Tsangchong returned to the ruins market, their targets instantly shifted entirely to Zhution ruins market. Hum. The spectral energy formation's defensive light screen trembled violently, then beneath layer upon layer of ripples, the shield value descended at an indescribable speed. Chapter 61, Advanced Ruins Market. Chapter 61, Advanced Ruins Market. 19480/40,000. 18260/40,000. 17100/40,000. Every half minute, the shield value would drop by 1,000 points. At this pace, it wouldn't take 10 minutes for the spectral energy formation to be completely destroyed. And without the protection of the spectral energy formation, the destruction of the ruins market, in the face of a group of extremely bloodthirsty void demons, would be but the blink of an eye. Song Chi quickly retracted the Tsangchong into his ancestral torch, reluctantly sweeping his gaze around him. Just as he completed his survey, determined to exit the ruins market the next moment, the vibrating sensation underfoot that had been constant suddenly ceased. Song Chi's gaze flickered in surprise. Is this the ruins market has successfully advanced? In that instant, Song Chi's mood was like a thunderstorm in June. One moment dark clouds filled the sky, and the next, the clouds parted and the sun shone through after the rain. In his excitement, he didn't forget to confirm his speculation and immediately opened the Ruins Market's attribute panel. Name: the Jution Ruins Market. Ruins Market Master: Song Chi. Level: LV10. Confirming that the Ruins Market had indeed advanced to LV10, Song Chi could no longer suppress the excitement in his heart and burst out laughing. To think, from the time he successfully linked to Jution Ruins Market with the Star C Ruin Market rank until today, it had been just over 2 months, and he had only opened the market for trade 3 times. During this period, he not only obtained an orange glory quality component but also a purple component plus the gold rockship armor, a white component. In just 2 months, the benefits had already reached such a terrifying level, one could imagine how much he had struggled internally with the decision to give up on the Jution Ruins Market. At this moment, it was the complete opposite. The more distressed and tormented he had felt before, the more excited and thrilled he was now. After a good laugh, Song Chi, who had turned his attention back, didn't even bother to check the specific attributes of the newly advanced Jution Ruins Market and immediately opened the configuration for the Spectral Energy Protective Array. Having reviewed the detailed attributes of the Spectral Energy Protective Array, a look of confirmation appeared in his eyes. Although the level of the Spectral Energy Protective Array was still LV9, with the Jution Ruins Market itself advancing to the first rank, its basic configuration, like that of the Torch Warship, had seen a fixed percentage increase in attributes, also 20%. The original defense and shield values of the Spectral Energy Protective Array were as follows. Defense: 500. Shield value: 3800/40,000. But with the successful advancement of the Ruins Market, these two figures had respectively become. Defense: 600. Shield value: 11800/48,000. And the key point was that the shield value was not only increased by 20% in its maximum capacity, but even the shield value that had been only 3,800 points was instantly boosted to 11,800, allowing it to hold out for several more minutes. See the novelfire.net website on Google to access chapters of novels. Early and in the highest quality. Having realized this, Song Chi summoned the Tsongchong warship back and, with a thought, glanced over the component of the dark matter energy shield generator. Post-overload buffer time: 8:35 minutes. The orange energy shield component, enhanced to LV15, had a buffer time of 35 minutes after overload. Now, 8 minutes had already passed, and in just 27 more minutes, it would be reactivated. Seeing this, a glint of hope rekindled in Song Chi's eyes. The success of the Jution Ruins Market's upgrade gave him hope that he could fully repel those void demons outside and safeguard the market. As long as the Spectral Energy Protective Array could hold on for another 20+ minutes, when the Tsongchong's energy shield was reactivated, the warship could once again enter combat. Basing on the previous combat achievements, assuming no new void demons appeared, the Tsongchong should be able to eliminate over 90% of the remaining 500+ void demons before the dark matter energy shield generator overloaded a second time. By then, even without the fire support of the Tsongchong, the Song Chi and the 10 fire peony soldier figurines could take over the cleanup task, making it highly probable to preserve the Jution Ruins Market. With this in mind, Song Chi quickly found the right moment to throw out the last energy grenade, killing nearly 10 zero-rank void demons, and then immediately boarded the Tsongchong, continuously firing the warship's main and secondary cannons into the sky above the market, to alleviate as much pressure as possible from the Spectral Energy Protective Array. 4 minutes later, when the Spectral Energy Formation's shield value dropped below 4 digits, Song Chi's thoughts shifted, and immediately after, the notification from the Jution Ruins Market rang in his ears. Do you confirm spending 150 strands of zero-rank floating land origin to upgrade the Spectral Energy Protective Array to LV10? Confirm. Whoosh. The very moment the Spectral Energy Protective Array's configuration was upgraded to LV10, the semicircular light screen over the market shimmered for a moment. Seeing its defensive and shield values, Song Chi inwardly exclaimed in delight. Defense: 1200. Shield value: 120000/120000. The defense value jumped from the previous 600 to 1200, and the shield value skyrocketed from 48,000 points to 120,000 points. What excited Song-Chi even more was that the shield value, which had only a few hundred points left previously, was fully restored to its peak condition after the upgrade. A formidable 120,000 points during the remaining 23 minutes would be a certainty. Phew. His breathing gradually calmed down, and only then did Song-Chi finally allow himself to relax completely. Yet he didn't cease his attacks. While the protective light screen was no longer in danger, killing one more void demon would lessen the burden on the soon-to-be-reactivated Song-Chiong. Time slowly passed in this way. After countless rounds of attacks and not knowing exactly how many, as soon as the component of the dark matter energy shield generator on the Song-Chiong finished buffering, he immediately controlled the warship to dash out of the market. With the Song-Chiong moving away from the market, the actions of the 10 Fire Peony soldier figurines became noticeably sluggish, even freezing in place, unable to move at times. However, there was no choice. The brainwave remote control system's duration had ended, requiring a lengthy 6 hours to buffer completely, so Song-Chi had to take the field himself. Fortunately, with the current fast-rank spectral energy formation's shield value, even without the manual clearance by the Fire Peony soldier figurines, it could last for a sufficiently long time. No longer needing to divide his attention to control the Fire Peony soldier figurines, Song-Chi, who focused solely on the Song-Chiong, was clearly at ease. The result was that this time the warship cleared the void demons even faster. In less than 20 minutes, and even without waiting for the second overload of the dark matter energy shield generator component, the remaining hundreds of void demons were entirely eradicated. Looking at the hundreds of blue-black corpses around the Jution ruins market, an inexplicable urge to cry welled up in Song-Chi's heart. Not out of sadness but rather the impulse to weep from the exhilaration of surviving a calamity, which quickly turned into deep joy and relief. Once the strange feelings in his heart had settled, Song-Chi began to control the Song-Chiong, roaming around the outskirts of the Jution ruins market, using the airship's traction beam to quickly collect the corpses of those void demons. P.S. Seeking continued readership, monthly tickets, and recommendation votes. Chapter 62, A Void Crystal * Demon Mark. Chapter 62, A Void Crystal * Demon Mark. Textbooks have often mentioned that these void demons, upon death, congeal a special crystal within their bodies, which encompasses the void energy they've absorbed throughout their lives in the void space, known as void crystals. Due to their extreme rarity, the value of these void crystals is exceptionally high. It's said that the enhancement of all spaceborne components requires these void crystals. Bearing this in mind, within the realms of Torch human civilization, the price of void crystals has been driven to extraordinary heights, having reached a point where one 0-rank void crystal can be exchanged for a strand of first-rank floating land origin, and one first-rank void crystal can be exchanged for a strand of second-rank floating land origin. At the moment, the bodies of these over 1,000 void demons are evidently a vast fortune, which is why Song-Chi didn't waste any time and began gathering these corpses immediately. Dozens of minutes later, once the collection was nearly complete, Song-Chi maneuvered the Song-Chiong back into the ruins market. Without hurrying to check the specific attributes of the Jution ruins market, he instead employed his ability as the ruins market lord, fully mobilizing the power of laws within the market and pushing the Jution ruins market to move toward the distance. The commotion caused by the recent battle wasn't insignificant, and the scent of fresh blood left by the deaths of thousands of void demons was very dense. If he didn't move far from this void space quickly, he feared more void demons would be drawn by the disturbance and find them again. As long as the Jution ruins market moved away from this area, its averting misfortune feature would be able to come into effect again, and they wouldn't have to worry about other void demons tracking them down. He didn't know how much time had passed, but once Song-Chi felt they had drifted far enough, he prepared to dissipate the power of laws and bring the market to a halt. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. However, the sound of something cutting through the air that followed made him tense up suddenly. When he turned his head to see the source of the attack, he breathed a sigh of relief. Outside the ruins market's protective light screen, a group of void demons, unbeknownst to him, had caught up again. This group was not large, consisting of only a dozen or so, with just one being of first rank, posing no real threat to the market. Song-Chi quickly disposed of these 10+ void demons and collected the void crystals from their bodies, then he once more took control and moved the Jution ruins market. Having been found by the void demons once again, it was evident that this place was not safe, so naturally, he wouldn't let the market stay here. In the hours that followed, Song-Chi began a cycle of operations, where each time the Jution Ruins market stopped at a location, they would encounter a small group of void demons. He would defeat them and then continue moving. After 4 consecutive times, Song-Chi felt that something was off. To call it a coincidence was too far-fetched, given that in the tens of thousands of years before, the Ruins market secret realm was never discovered by these void demons. According to the diverting misfortune feature of the Jution Ruins market, except for the brightness generated during the market's implementation that attracted the attention of void demons, the subsequent encounters should not have occurred. Could it be that the averting misfortune feature has really stopped working? With this doubt in mind, he didn't immediately move away. Instead, he opened the attribute panel of the market to see if he could discover anything. The next second, when the attribute panel of the market appeared before him, Song-Chi suddenly realized what was happening. It was neither a coincidence nor a failure of the averting misfortune feature. On the contrary, the problem lay with the Jution Ruins market itself. Name: the Jution Ruins market. Ruins market master: Song-Chi. Level: LV10. Specifications: 1000 mx 1000 m. Basic configuration: 50 shops, 1 stall area of 200 mx 200 m, 1 2-story inn, with 51 guest rooms, 1 LV9 all attributes cultivation room, efficiency doubles when cultivating spectral energy, 1 LV10 spectral energy protection formation, 1 LV9 ultra long distance space gate random deployment platform. Additional configuration: none 0/6. Feature: averting misfortune, able to move freely within the void, mysteriously avoiding natural disasters. Feature 2, special anchor point 1/1. Negative status: first rank demon mark. Up rank requirement: 50 strands of first rank floating land origin, 100,000 strands of 0 rank floating land origin from Ruins market transactions, 89560/100000. Song-Chi's gaze bypassed everything else, settling directly on the negative status section. As he focused his attention, a detailed description of the attribute soon popped up. First-rank demon mark, and a mark laid down by several first-rank void demons, which when other void demons are within a certain range, automatically sense this special mark. Damn it, I was wondering why it was such a coincidence. It's because of this. Swearing to himself in his mind, Song-Chi then started to feel a headache coming on. With this mark present, the tranquility for the Jution Ruins market in the future was out of the question. Because of this mark, the market's feature of averting misfortune was basically nullified. Think about it, if someone placed a tracker on you, would hiding still be of any use? No good. I must get rid of this mark as soon as possible, even if it's just a temporary concealment, or else the Ruins market, which was so difficult to preserve, may soon face the same situation again. And this commotion caused by the market's great up rank must also be addressed. Muttering to himself, Song-Chi's recently relaxed brows furrowed once again. The demon mark goes without saying, it's a pressing matter. And the commotion during the market's great up rank is just as important to pay attention to. After all, the market has just advanced to first rank, there's still a long way to go. It can't be that every single advancement in the future has to be carried out in such a heart-pounding way, can it? Glancing out of the corner of his eye at the pile of crystals beside him, Song-Chi felt a bit more pleased despite his somber mood. After a recent inventory, it was confirmed that there were 1230 void crystals, among which there were 11050 rank void crystals and 125 first rank void crystals. Based on the normal exchange rates within the territories of Torch human civilization, this amounted to 1105 strands of first rank floating land origin plus 125 strands of second rank floating land origin. The moment he got the result, Song-Chi actually had the idea to use this demon mark as bait to continuously attract small groups of void demons to hunt, thereby obtaining a steady stream of void crystals. But he quickly dismissed the idea. This method could indeed make money quickly, but likewise, the risk factor was very high. Who could guarantee that the void demons attracted by the demon mark would always be low rank? What if a high rank demon was lured in? Search the novel f.nt website on Google to access chapters of novels early and in the highest quality. What if the ones attracted were a demon army of tens of thousands, including a large number of first and second rank void demons? All these uncertainties made Song-Chi dismiss the notion outright. With the ruins market, he could easily and steadily acquire various resources every month. Why should he engage in such life-risking acts? Chapter 63, New feature of the first-rank ruins market. The Inn. Chapter 63, New feature of the first-rank ruins market, the Inn. Although anxious at heart, Song-Chi quickly shifted his attention to the Jution ruins market itself, as he was extremely curious about the changes after its advancement. Previously, due to his focus on the matter of the demon mark, he had only taken a casual look, yet he remembered clearly that a new feature had appeared on the attributes panel of the market. This one change alone was enough to make one itch with anticipation. Opening up the market's attributes panel once again, Song-Chi started to carefully examine the changes within. His gaze skipped over the first three sections and landed on the specification item. After advancing to the first rank, the area of the Jution ruins market soared to a size of 1000 mx 1000 m and the number of shops increased to 50. The stall area expanded to 200 mx 200 m, and even the inn, which had never seemed to serve any purpose, had grown from 1 to 2 floors. These were undoubtedly all good news. The expansion of the market's area not only meant that more beings could enter with each market trade in the future, but also implied that Song-Chi's super private storage space capacity had further increased, allowing him to store even more resources in the future. For this purpose, Song-Chi specially used the power of laws to section off a 20 mx 20 m enclosed area within the store zone. This enclosed space would become the exclusive storage for the floating land mining carts and the various resources collected in the future. That way, he wouldn't have to worry about where to store the 2 floating land mining carts and the gathered resources every time he opened the market. This area was sufficient to store a large quantity of items. It could even accommodate the Song-Chiong, which had advanced to a spectral airship, when entirely empty. Near the central street of the market, close to the stall area, was a 2-story inn. Previously, Song-Chi had explored the function of this building several times, to no avail. Other than discovering that each guest room slightly sped up spirit recovery, there were no other functions. Upon entering the inn once more, Song-Chi's renewed interest wasn't because of the additional number of guest rooms after the market's advancement, but because he noticed that the 51 rooms were not evenly distributed across the first and second floors. There were 50 rooms on the first floor, but only a lonely one on the second floor, an observation that puzzled him. Soon, the 50 rooms on the first floor had been checked one by one, and they were no different from before. So, he climbed up to the second floor. As soon as Song-Chi arrived on the second floor, he made an unexpected discovery. The second floor of the inn didn't have just one guest room. Looking down the corridor, it was clear that there were 10 doors of identical dimensions, indicating that the actual number of guest rooms on the second floor was 10. However, only one room was currently open. The other 9 were blocked by some mysterious barrier and had not been unlocked. Even as the ruins market master, he was also barred from entering. His eyes flickering with various speculations, Song-Chi ultimately concluded that to continue unlocking the other 9 rooms, he would likely have to wait for future upgrades of the Jution ruins market. As for whether these rooms had different functions from those on the first floor, that was something he had to experience personally to know. Thinking this, he pushed open the door of the only available guest room on this floor. The moment his feet crossed the threshold, Song-Chi suddenly felt a strange realization. This second-floor guest room was completely different from those on the first floor. He could not pinpoint where this feeling came from. After a moment of doubt, his attention quickly shifted away, as his gaze was now drawn to a bronze token floating at the center of the room. The ruin market mystical laws that Song-Chi controlled did not issue any warning of danger, so he reached straight out for the bronze token. The moment his palm touched the token, all the information about the bronze token and the room below surfaced in his mind. Name: the Ruins Market Guest Token. Belongs to Jution Ruins Market, Song-Chi. Number of uses: 1/1. Effect: the creature that obtains this guest token, regardless of where it is in the Shattered Starry Sea, can consume one usage count to activate the token with the Ruins Market Master's consent, and upon activation, the token will transport the activator to the exclusive guest room for a 24-hour stay. The activator will be transported back to their original location with the token either when they choose to return or when the stay ends. Introduction: a product derived from the Jution Ruins Market, possessing inconceivable abilities. See the novelfire.net * website on Google to access chapters of novels early and in the highest quality. Note: only the Ruins Market Master can replenish the token's number of uses. Note 2: the Ruins Market Master has the right to revoke the token at any time. Ruins Market Guest Token. Murmuring softly, Song-Chi's eyes shone, and his heart rate accelerated. Based on the introduction on the attributes panel, the actual value of the Ruins Market Guest Token must far exceed expectations, allowing other beings multiple entries into the Jution Ruins Market, not just relying on the elusive luck. Just this feature alone could make creatures who had experienced the convenience and value of the Jution Ruins Market eager for it. Similarly, as the Ruins Market Master, he could also use this to obtain greater benefits. For instance, if he had had this item a month earlier, he could have handed the token to that god before the second market trade ended, granting him the qualification to re-enter the market later. With this, he could have go collect more deep water clam pearls for him, or ones that were 1,000 years older or even older, or perhaps those rare and precious mermaid's tears. With that thought, Song-Chi sighed softly. It was too late for the Ruins Market Guest Token to arrive. Water-based floating lands in the Starry Sea were not common, and it was uncertain when he would encounter such an alien race on a floating land again, one that could stably produce deep water clam pearls. However, it wasn't necessary to just rely on water-based floating lands for aliens. With the vastness of the Starry Sea, there were plenty of floating lands with even rarer resources. As long as there were alien species that could provide a continuous supply of a valuable resource, he could consider giving out this Ruins Market Guest Token. Suppressing the excitement in his heart, Song-Chi stepped out of the inn once more. The allocation of the Ruins Market Guest Tokens would undoubtedly be strict and not something that could be done in a short time. Of course, he would not distribute them lightly. As it stood, there were only 10 guest rooms on the second floor of the inn, meaning there could be at most 10 Ruins Market Guest Tokens, each needing to be given out with caution. Aside from nurturing the Ruins Market Guest Tokens, the function of those guest rooms was also to serve as the sole space node for the holders of the guest tokens to enter and leave the Ruins Market, a transfer station, so to speak. Chapter 64, a new feature of the first-rank Ruins Market, Special Anchor Points. Chapter 64, a new feature of the first-rank Ruins Market, Special Anchor Points. Phew. Suppressing the joy and excitement in his heart, Song-Chi continued to examine the other changes in the Ruins Market. Still in the basic configuration section, after experiencing the inn's brand new functions, Song-Chi's attention shifted to the All Attributes Cultivation Room and the Ultra-Long-Distance Space Gate Random Deployment Platform. Like the Spectral Energy Protective Array before, even though their levels hadn't changed and were still LV9, the effects of these two configurations had also improved to a certain extent. The original LV9 All Attributes Cultivation Room provided a 580% boost to spectral energy cultivation, but now it had become 700%, far surpassing the spectral energy cultivation platforms of the same level. As for the ultra-long-distance space gate random deployment platform, its duration and buffer times hadn't changed, only the number of special gates deployed each time increased from 19 to 23. It might seem like only 4 extra gates, but this was already the LV9 platform, and next, Song-Chi was going to further enhance it. The LV9 All Attributes Cultivation Room and the Ultra-Long-Distance Space Gate Random Deployment Platform both had the same up-rank requirements to advance. Not only did the Ruins Market itself have to reach LV10, but they also needed 150 strands of zero-rank floating land origin. Taking out 300 strands of zero-rank floating land origin, Song-Chi successively upgraded both to LV10. Name: All Attributes Cultivation Room. Level: LV10. Effect: when first-rank beings cultivate in the cultivation room, their cultivation speed increases by 480%. When the cultivator engages in spectral energy cultivation, the speed increases by 960%. Uprank requirement ruins market level LV11 25 strands of floating land origin fast rank. Name ultra long distance space gate random deployment platform. Level LV10. Effect: once activated, it randomly deploys 36 special gates throughout the shattered starry sea that allow entrance and exit to the ruins market, with each special gate lasting for 24 hours and a buffer of 720 hours. Uprank requirement ruins market level LV11 25 strands of floating land origin fast rank. The enhancement of the all attributes cultivation room to the spectral energy guidance technique had reached a staggering 960%, and the number of special gates the ultra-long distance space gate random deployment platform could deploy had increased to 36. Seeing these two sets of data, Song-Chi finally closed the attribute panel in front of him with satisfaction. His gaze then shifted downward, eventually settling on the newly appeared feature. There wasn't much to say about the additional configuration section, which still remained empty, with only 2 more slots available. Song-Chi had previously tested that these extra configuration slots could accommodate all the special components compatible with the torch worship, but he currently didn't have any spares. Moreover, because of the averting misfortune feature, he hadn't thought he needed to equip anything previously. But after the incident with the Void Demons, special components that could either clear negative states or conceal anomalies in the ruins market had been added to his list of items to search for urgently. With his gaze lingering, the detailed attributes of the newly emerged special anchor point feature quickly surfaced in front of Song-Chi. Feature: special anchor point designate a specific coordinate in the actual starry sea as the anchor point for Jution ruins market. Subsequently, as long as this anchor point is activated, no matter where the ruins market owner enters the ruins market from, upon leaving they will only appear at the anchor point's coordinates. Song-Chi's eyes lit up again. The effect of this special anchor point feature was simple: it provided a precise transport coordinate for Jution ruins market. As long as this coordinate was activated, no matter from where you entered the ruins market, you could use this transport coordinate to leave. This might still be hard to understand, so let's use a simple example. If Song-Chi were to set this special anchor point in his own bedroom, then even if he was in a far-off alien star domain, as long as he entered the ruins market, he could choose to actively trigger this anchor point. This would allow the anchor point set in his bedroom to serve as his returning point after leaving the ruins market. In doing so, he wouldn't even need to use the spectral airship's own return function to effortlessly return home from the distant alien star domain. After completely understanding this special anchor point feature, the first use that came to Song-Chi's mind wasn't related to deploying it in the alien star domain, but instead, he wanted to use this special function to assist his subsequent shipments. His haul from the alien star domain always surpassed that of an average person, but because he was afraid of exposing Jution ruins market, he could only sell most of his haul at 65% of market price through the black market, almost halving his profits. This had always greatly annoyed Song-Chi. Why should he let people take a 35% cut for free from the resources he painstakingly brought back from the alien star domain? In contrast, if he sold through a regular store and had a substantial quantity of resources, it wouldn't be a problem to push the purchase price to 90% of market value, which was much more economical than selling on the black market. However, this would involve the risk of exposing his identity. It was because of this limitation that he had reluctantly chosen the black market channel previously. But now things were different. With the new special anchor point feature, as long as he set the anchor point coordinates in his own bedroom, all these problems could be practically solved. By concealing his identity and selling the whole to regular stores, then entering the ruins market from a deserted place with his earnings and subsequently returning directly home through the special anchor point, just like that, it was simple. Even if someone took notice or followed him, they'd have no starting point for their investigation. The more Song-Chi thought about it, the more feasible it seemed. It just so happened that a recent ruins market trade had left him with a stockpile of differential resources, perfect for a trial run. If it proved viable, the over 1,000 void crystals could also be sold without a trace. Thinking about the floating land origins he could obtain after selling more than 1,000 void crystals, Song-Chi even anticipated the scene of enhancing the dark matter energy shield generator component all the way to second rank. The very thought was exhilarating. With the current LV-15 dark matter energy shield generator component already being so impressive, once it reached second rank, it would undoubtedly become even more formidable. Putting thoughts into action, Song-Chi quickly scanned the remaining sections of the Ruins Market attribute panel and finally paused for a moment on the up rank requirement section. To upgrade from Ruins Market LV10 to LV11, while the requirement of 50 strands of first rank floating land origin was manageable, as once the void crystals were sold, there would be plenty of first rank floating land origin. The difficult part was the trading volume of 100,000 strands of zero rank floating land origin. As trades didn't account for bartering, the total trading volume from the previous 3 transactions hadn't even reached 90,000. To continue increasing the level of the Ruins Market, he would have to wait until after the next market trade. Song-Chi wasn't in a rush. The priority was to find a way to acquire the special components that could clear negative states and to dispose of the differential resources and void crystals as soon as possible. The level of the Ruins Market itself could be raised later, but if the demand mark issue wasn't resolved promptly, there might not be a future for Jution Ruins Market at all. Part 4 of the series ends here. Thank you for watching and listening. If you find it interesting, please give us a like, a comment and a subscription so that we have the motivation to make the next videos.